and welcome to Solutions number 15. And welcome Susie Schoenbeck. Polio survivor groups are the biggest support mechanism. Grief is both universal and unique. Our commitment is as strong as our desire to fulfill it. Jean Chrétien, the Prime Minister of Canada, once said that. Today we will talk with you about how we grieve. Things change. We respond by grieving losses. We can help others through grief. Slide 2. Kim. Next slide. Our hope is the conversation today will validate our feelings of grief, reinforce that we are not odd or alone in feeling the way we do, help us build ways to help ourselves deal with grief. Next slide. Susie.
What you have before you today are 3 pictures of people who are grieving. And what we need to know about grief is that it's natural. It's okay. When we have a loss, we respond by grieving. The person on the right is just holding their hands in front of their eyes. They can hardly believe that their loss is occurring. The person in the middle is seated with his head in his hand, unable to even see around him because he is just now facing his grief. And the people on the left, they're hugging. They're hugging because hugging helps us when we grieve. Human beings are not the only ones who have ways of grieving, physical ways. If you look at the animal kingdom, you will discover that mother dolphins, when their baby calves die, they will try and carry them around for a while with them and nudge them and hope that they come alive. You will see elephants out in the wilderness, and the elephants will actually trumpet around a dead elephant, and they will toss up leaves and they will toss up ground, similar to the type of funeral services that we have. So we are not alone. We are just part of the grief phenomenon.
Next slide. People experience multiple episodes of loss throughout their lives and grieve their losses, such as a runaway pet, a physician's retirement. Wow, that's a big one. Death of a friend or a loved one, a change in mobility, a change in residence. Next slide. Susie.
These are people who are like you and I. We polio survivors have had stages where we have grieved, and so have all of these people. You see on your left Mia Farrow and Alan Alda on the top. They were both performers because we polio kids became performers. We could entertain because entertaining took away from our polio disabilities. You see next to Alan Alda that you have Anley Hussey, who has made her life goal the eradication of polio throughout the world. And then you have the singers, Joni Mitchell on the top right. And on the bottom, second to right, you have singer Neil Young, who we really appreciate in America at this time, lending his voice to our arena. You have Judy Heumann, the mother of disability rights movement. On your left on the bottom, you have Franklin Delano Roosevelt, who brought warm springs therapy to polio survivors. And it was his wife, Eleanor Roosevelt, who encouraged him to also provide warm pool therapy for Blacks in America. And one of my favorite people in the white lab coat is Dr. Laurel Halstad, who almost up until the time of his death as a physician, treated polio survivors. So these people are proof that even though we have grieved, we can contribute.
Next slide. The grief of polio survivors fluctuates and varies depending based on our personal symptoms and circumstances of our life. Losses pile up, especially polio experiences, changing in physical abilities, strained mental and emotional capacities, conditions that often force isolation from friends, community gatherings. It may feel like our world is getting smaller. Next slide. Susie.
These next 3 slides talk about the major times that we polio survivors grieve. And the first is when we had acute polio. For some of us, we were so young that it is difficult to put words to that grief. I know I was only 7 months old. I remember most screaming and being tired and being isolated in an iron lung. I did not know what was happening to me. Some people felt anger because we were in a polio hospital, we learned quick as polio kids, don't complain because people don't like complainers. So we kept that anger inside of us. Instead, we bargained. We saw, wow, if we're compliant with the staff in the hospital, we will be more accepted. So we became compliant people. We smiled at everybody, even though the smile was a fake smile. We pushed our feelings of depression, which are a normal part of grief, down under, and we pretended that they were not there. Sometimes we would look at our parents and we would see people who had lost that child that they hoped would have the perfect life. And we were saddened looking at our parents. But then, in order to go on, we had to accept that we were indeed affected by polio. It was the only thing we could do was to go on.
Next slide.
The next stage when polio survivors experience a big lump of grief is when we got post-polio symptoms, which were anywhere from 20 to 40 years after the time that we had polio. Wow, this was a surprise to many of us. Some of us just thought, well, gee, maybe I just miscalculated when I was moving and I broke my leg, or maybe my knees are giving out because I played tennis too much. It took a long time to realize that some of these disabilities were related to polio. Were we angry about this? Yes, many times we were angry. Who did we have to share this with? We are fortunate as a group of individuals with a disease to have polio survivor groups to share this with. Most other groups with like diseases are not as fortunate as us. Do we bargain? Do we bargain with our grief that has to do with all of our post-polio symptoms? Yes. We say, I'm going to rest more, or I'm going to switch jobs because this job is just too hard with all these late effects of polio. I was an ICU nurse. I could not be an ICU nurse all the time. Too much work on my feet, so I had to switch to a paperwork nurse job. But that's what you do because you have the late effects of polio. We are people who have grieved acute polio, and now we're people who have grieved our late effects of polio.
Next slide.
And here is where we are today. We're at the end stage polio. We can't deny that mortality is here. We cannot change it, but we can walk through it as we wish. Anger as a feeling is not inherently good or bad, But what we have to remember is, how do we want to be as a person? And if we choose not to be an angry person, then we have to work on that as we grieve. We bargain during this time. Some of the bargaining is, wow, I'll share my story with you if you share your story with me, and maybe we'll find out we're not alone. And that's one good thing about polio groups, is that we can talk and we can be surprised that we have the same feelings. We do face depression. I know when I wrote Polio Girl, I was sitting in the guest room and my husband would knock on the door and say, "Are you crying, Susie?" And I'd be, "Oh, yeah, I guess I'm crying," because I was looking through old papers about my childhood and the chiropractor that treated me and notes from people. And they were bringing me in touch with what I had gone through. And I would encourage people to write in a journal, to share in their polio survivor groups what makes them sad, so that some of these feelings can come out. We reach a space in the end when we are becoming memory. And if we take our life story and share it with our family, our friends, especially our grandchildren, then our story can become part of their lives too.
Wow, yes. And making the heart connection, Susie, she wrote this, but I'm going to tell you about it. After I engage in a polio survivor group meeting, even though my body is tired, my heart feels good. And I learned this happens for good reason. Polio survivor groups not only help us connect in a place with people who understand our feelings and give us tips on facing post polio symptoms proactively, but also meetings make space for dialogue on topics important for living out the rest of our lives with as much vigor as we can muster. Polio survivor meetings are times we can see the faces and hear the voices of people we know as friends, people who have our backs and care about us. The World Health Organization, WHO, studied how socializing with others helps people of all ages, backgrounds, and interests. WHO recognizes that people with disabilities may face barriers to making social connections, but connecting with others is worthwhile. Overcoming any barrier by assessing polio survivor meeting online is good for overall health. WHO points out that socializing can reduce inflammation in our bodies, averting serious health issues, including heart disease, diabetes, cognitive impairments, and early deaths. Dr. Jonathan Fisher, cardiologist and certified mindfulness teacher, writes that meaningful human connections, like we find in our polio survivor meetings, make our bodies produce feel good hormones. When we share our emotions, our body responds in a positive way. Fisher proposes that everyone intentionally get together. Participating in polio survivor meetings is a healthy way to connect with others. Fisher says we should be as attentive to getting out and socializing, whether it's in person or online, as we are about getting out cholesterol levels and keeping our cholesterol levels in check. The joy and benefits of polio survivor meetings, connections are far reaching, but within grasp for all of us. To the leaders of polio survivor groups, bravo! You create the platform for better, longer living. Kim, come together.
Love is but a song we sing, feels the way we die. You can make the mountains ring, or make the angels cry. Though the bird is on the wing, and you may not know why. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Some may come and some may go, we will surely pass. When the one that left us here returns for us at last, we are but a moment's sunlight fading in the grass. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. If you hear the song I sing, you will understand. Listen. You hold the key to love and fear, all in your trembling hand. Just one key unlocks them both. It's there at your command. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Yeah. Come on, people now, smile on your brother, everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. Right now, right now.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Next slide, please. There we go. The true measure of our lives is not in the heights we reach, but in the impact that we have had on those around us. Our spirits are sewn into the fabric of loved ones, our community, our work, our helping and teaching others. Next slide. Like a door swinging in the wind, polio pushes us. Sometimes grief takes us beyond our capacity to feel steady. Next slide. Let's look forward. We can see how to confront current, and future losses in tolerable doses, how to attach meaning to our losses, ways to carve a pathway from being a presence to being a memory we hope others will have of us. Next slide. This quote is from a book titled Jabber Crow. Back there at the beginning, as I see now, my life was all time and almost no memory. And now, nearing the end, I see that my life is almost entirely memory and very little time. Finally, I realized and fully accepted that one day I would belong entirely to memory, and it would not be my memory I belonged to. It was written by Wendell Berry. The story tracks the life of a gravedigger who has put many bodies in the ground and now asks himself, how will other people think of me when I am gone? Next slide. Look at all those words. The word grief comes from an old English word meaning soreness of the heart, or in one word, heartache. There's many, many words that we can use for grief. Next. We can grieve well. What is good grieving? Good grieving is learning about how to live best with circumstances of loss. Good grieving can be a process of survival, rebuilding and redefining who we are and the values we hold. Why is grieving an important skill? Studies show that human beings who acknowledge and walk through grief gain a sense of control over a situation of loss that cannot be changed. This sense of control may reduce the psychological and physiological consequences of grief. Next slide. Susie.
What happens when we do not address our grieving? Our body knows us so well that it does it for us. It makes our blood pressure go up. It makes us have like maybe foggy thoughts. We may not feel so good about ourselves, feel a little depression, have trouble sleeping, fatigue, increased pain. Our body will tell us we're grieving even if we do not want to face it. So now is the time to get some skills to learn how to face our grieving.
Next slide. We all hide our feelings from time to time. Occasional emotional suppression generally is not known to cause problems. What are some reasons we hesitate to share our feelings? We don't want to appear weak. We may sense that others might judge us as unable to manage our feelings. We do not want to get hurt or abandoned. We may feel if we reveal our sadness or anger, others may not feel comfortable in our company. We were told as children not to share our feelings. Our parents may have role modeled what it was like to be stoic and strong. They kept their feelings to themselves. Next slide. Life expectancy around the globe, it certainly has increased, but there are numbers that have changed. These numbers were updated last month. Japan improved. Age, 84.95. That is a phenomenal age. Canada declined, but still a large number, 83.73 to 82.88. Let's keep our numbers high. The United Kingdom did decline, but 82.31 to 81.6 is still a very good number. But the United States, the average age of death is now 79.61. This is very sad. Next slide. Susie?
So, what we see is that our average lifespan may be changing, but there are things we can do, especially by talking with others in polio survivor groups, to adopt good ways of being and healthy ways of being. We can face our vulnerability and have some control because we practice good health practices. We will always wish that we could be part of the future, but we will be part of the future, just not in our own bodies. So now is the time to figure out what kind of memory we want to be and make sure that's established in the people we love.
Next slide. In the end, it will not matter how far we traveled in this world or how many countries we visited, that we traveled first class, or that the grand vessels or planes that carried us, or the haute couture fashions we wore, or the gourmet food and fine liquors we consumed. It will not matter. Next slide.
What will matter is how our hearts have been molded by our journeys and how our spirits are sewn into the fabric of loved ones, our community, and our work.
Next slide. I think all kinds of meanings in life transcend yourself. They're linked to other generations of people around us, to our children and our family. We're passing on something of ourselves to others. I feel that that's what makes our life full meaning. Next slide. And above all, be vulnerable to the pain, but be open to the joy also. Next slide.
And to reinforce what Mona said before, shedding tears is actually good for us. It helps us produce those feel-good hormones. It also draws people to us, lets them know that something has changed in our lives. We're suffering, and maybe now is when we need that emotional hug.
Yes. Next slide. Criers who receive social support while crying were more likely to report mood benefits than criers without support. So when you see someone crying, give them a hug or some words of caring or encouragement. Some examples are, I care about you. Friends help when times are tough. You are strong. You will find balance and good times again. Next slide. Susie?
The Roman poet said, "It's some relief to weep, because grief is satisfied and it's carried off by our tears."
Next slide. The hug doesn't need to be a physical embrace. It can be a statement. I care about you. I will make contact with you more frequently. I will help you in any way I can. I can make you a meal. I believe you are a strong person. What do you think you would appreciate a friend doing for you when you experience a loss or grief? What can you do for someone else to help them through days and nights of grief? I wish to once again thank everyone for their kind words to me in my time of sudden loss, and to let you know it was a great comfort. Share your polio losses with those around you. It will give you the courage to go on in different and better ways. Let us grieve about the polio losses we have felt and will continue to feel. Your friends and loved ones want to help. Your polio support groups are there for you. Thank you, Susie. Thank you for being my friend. You have helped me in so many ways just by being there for me. Ken, the last song.
Was that it?
Breathe. You are alive. Stillness is not the enemy. It's the only balm. It is the spark that wakes you up. Remember who you are. Who are you? Are you what you do? How you perform different acts every hour? Are you burning, brilliant, beautiful? Or are your fires uncontrolled, pulled in every direction? Can you admit you may be tired, exhausted even? Are you your fears, your wants, your needs? Are you the good and the bad words you use to describe yourself? Some of the time, at least. Are you your inconsistencies? Are you afraid to look at yourself? Afraid to remember? We make ourselves up, put ourselves out there as works of art, as entertaining shows for the world to see, to judge, to notice. But you are a work of art, but it's not how you think. It's in your eyes when you laugh, when you smile, when you're angry, when you cry. You can't hide it. It leaks out in flashes across your face. Your soul bursts through in moments of true tenderness, when the empathy just kind of swells up from nowhere, from very deep. You are in there. Divine. Why are we so afraid of it? Why do we try to bury it alive in schedules and important deadlines and hurrying? We have let too much in, crowded ourselves out, forgotten our purpose, forgotten to show up. Pause. Sit with yourself, sit with a neighbor, sit with me, and notice when you are quiet how the divine whispers. Notice all things. Just be in the present for a moment. And remember to breathe, love, for you are alive.
I just want to say thank you once again. Remember to breathe. Remember to grieve. Remember to do what you can. Thank you, Susie. You have been so helpful. I have enjoyed every moment that I have spent with you. And you take
too.
care of yourself and your body. Your body needs you. now more than ever. Thank you all. Thank you for being here. We polios can get past this. We know. Yes. Thank you all.